Hi, I'm Jonathan Handel, host of Look at LA. Welcome to the show, and our subject today is California Proposition 4, a ballot proposition that would restrict minors' access to abortions. This is kind of an unpleasant blast from the past. We've had multiple ballot propositions of this sort in California over the years, and this concept of parental notification and restricting minors' access to abortions is unfortunately almost as old, if not older, than Roe versus Wade, the 1974 decision legalizing abortion in the United States. I should say that this program is available at lookatla.tv if you're seeing it somewhere else. I also blog on the Huffington Post and at jhandel.com. Our guest today is from the No on 4 campaign. She's a spokesperson for Planned Parenthood and is here to speak with us about Proposition 4 and the dangers of this proposition. Her name is Miriam Gerace, and hopefully I've gotten that right. I just learned it, and maybe I've messed it up already. Miriam, welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hi, pleased to have you here.
Glad to be here.
The last name?
Gerace.
Gerace.
Yes.
Okay. I'm a slow learner sometimes. Tell us about Proposition 4.
Sure. Well, Proposition 4 is, as you said, the third version. It's a virtual carbon copy of two initiatives that have already been defeated in California. And what it is forced notification by minors to their parents when they seek abortion services. Now, of course, parents want to be involved in the lives of their teenagers, and in most cases, happily, that is the case. One or both parents will go in to a health center with a teenager. But I'm here because we really fear that this will put some teens at risk, especially those who are in vulnerable situations, who are in violent homes, or who, for whatever reason, really feel that they can't talk to their parents about this.
Well, isn't the goal here, though, of this proposition to encourage kids and perhaps give a little push that even if they feel they can't talk to their parents, that they should do so? What's the difficulty?
Well, on paper, it might seem like that would work, but if we stop for a moment and think about it, no law has ever been able to mandate family communication. I've yet to meet a teenager who checks the Constitution before talking to his or her parents, or her parents in this case. I mean, this is a situation where healthy, open relationships, where they exist, will continue to exist. And unfortunately, if there are abusive situations or dysfunctional ones, they're not going to change because of this proposition. It just doesn't make sense. I mean, and actually, the proponents of the initiative, the yes side, has said that they don't really care about family communication at all. Their concern, their concerns are really hard to understand because they have refused to listen to the voice of California voters for the third time around now, and we believe that they really are trying to impose their own narrow ideology.
Who are some of the supporters?
I love that question because it leads me to who is on the no side, which I'd like to tell you about first. So on the no side, we have the California Teachers Association, the California Medical Association, the California Association of Pediatricians. We have the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, the Association of School Counselors. I mean, if you go to noonprop4.org or com, you'll see just, countless individuals, hundreds of thousands of individuals and countless organizations that are concerned about 4 and would like parents and voters overall to vote no. Now on the yes side, we have a ragtag group of individuals, some of them with deep pockets. One of them is from San Diego. His name is Jim Holman, and he's a regular protester at Planned Parenthood health centers in San Diego. There's someone called Don Sebastiani, who's a Napa business person, and then there's a few other notables like Phyllis Schlafly. We have
Blast from the past.
The Family Research Council, and that's about it really. You'll find that it's just an assortment of individuals.
Why are the latest polls are at a dead heat? Why are California voters so divided on the measure?
Well, there's a couple of reasons, I believe. The first is that we vote a lot. And so But I think about it sometimes and I realize I can't honestly remember everything that I voted on. And so we need to remind people because there's a lot to consider.
Right.
That's the first reason. The second, I think, is that at first this may seem, like I said, on paper, at first glance, it seems like a good idea until you take a moment and pause and think about how it would play out in the real world. And I think when we get to voters, when we get a chance to talk to parents, when we tell them, look, teachers and counselors and doctors and everyone that we already entrust our teens, who we entrust them to on a daily basis, they're saying no. And then that helps people work through the proposition, because we know that most voters are motivated by a desire to protect teens, and so they may not realize that this will in fact endanger many of them.
And the devil's really in the details, isn't it? I mean, when you talk about working through the proposition, there's two aspects to that. One is how does one feel about the proposition as a general matter, but the other is how would it really work logistically? What does this proposition require, first of all, of doctors, which is the initial notifying kind of authority here, isn't it?
Well, it requires, again, things that don't make sense in the real world. It's that they provide written consent of the request for the abortion, and that they
have consent or a notification?
I mean, I'm sorry, notification, and that they. But actually, that's a good point, because consent and notification in a teenage world is really the same thing. I mean, if you, again, another real life comparison here. If you think about a teenager just notifying their parents about an unplanned pregnancy and asking for consent, it really boils down to the same thing.
So this is really consent in sheep's clothing, isn't it?
I believe so. And I think, and again, most people that know teens and work with them think that's the way it will play out. But to answer your question, a doctor would have to hand deliver this notification of the request for abortion services.
So make a house call.
Make a house call. Reasonable.
When's the last time that happened?
I don't know. I haven't had one in LA yet.
Right.
But, it's possible. Or get through certified mail. Notify the parents of the request for abortion services. Now,
certified mail plus a backup copy by regular mail.
Right, and a 48-hour waiting period. So it's got a few poison pills. One of them is the waiting period, which we know increases risk for women of any age. It pushes the abortion later into the pregnancy often.